The opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Cable 14, its sponsors, or its shareholders, Cogeco Cable, Shaw Cable, and Source Cable Limited.
Welcome to Persistence Pays. Today we're going to be talking about movement, how we move our bodies, how we stay in shape, how we how movement can make us happy. And in the studio with me today, I have Jed Lifeson. You've probably seen him dancing down the streets of Hamilton. He is everywhere. Everywhere you look, Jed is there. And so I wanted to bring him into the studio today to talk to him about why he dances through the city and what his dancing has done for others in our community. So Jed, thank you so much for being on the show today, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you.
Thank you for inviting me, Lori. This is the time of the season. I bring joy, love, and happiness to you.
Great. Well, you know, I know when I see you dancing down the street, you look happy. You look like you're just dancing for the enlightenment and the enjoyment of other people. So what made you start to dance through the city?
Well, actually, originally it was just overwhelming feeling of joy that I experienced. And it was very difficult to deal with, you know, by myself. So I brought it out in that form.
So when you danced by yourself, you felt joy, and you wanted to share that with other people.
Well, no, as I danced, it just seemed that I affected other people in a positive way. And as I continued dancing, other people reacted, and it's a circle, you know, that continues. You know, I dance, it brings smiles to people, it brings joy to people. They shared with me, and with a smile or with you know, hands up.
Honk of the horn.
You know, honk of the horn, in whatever form, you know, and it comes back to me, so I give it back again. You know, it's give and take kind of thing.
So do you dance every day? Like, is it something that you get up and you go, okay, where am I going to dance to today? How does that work?
That is strange. Let me put it this way. I dance instead of walking. I even dance to the bathroom at 3, 4 in the morning, if the music's on. Yeah, I seem to have turned my walking into dancing. It's strange, but you know, like, I walk into a bank and I dance to the teller, you know, or Tim Hortons to buy a coffee. I dance in the line, you know, until I.
So what kind of reaction? What kind of reaction do you get generally from the public?
Very positive, very positive, very encouraging. People say, "Don't stop," you know. That's one of the most common. You know, responses that I have from people is keep doing it, don't stop, don't ever stop.
Well, you know, I think if someone's having a bad day and they're driving in the car, some people have road rage, and they see you dancing down the street, how can it not turn their attitude around, their way of feeling that day? When they see you dancing, it has to bring a smile.
I count on that. That's my contribution, you know.
Well, you're the Dancin Guy of Hamilton, but you dance all over. What's the farthest that you've danced?
In miles, or I would say Hamilton, Toronto, yeah.
Wow. At one time?
At one time, yeah.
Wow. I know you've been out in Stony Creek, too.
Yes.
Spotted you in Stony Creek as well.
Yes. Stony Creek, Burlington, you know, like all the routes, say, from Toronto all the way to Stony Creek.
That's amazing. And you have a dream, and your dream is to dance across Canada and raise money for needy children. So tell me about that and where, you know, what your ideas are for that.
I would really love to ultimately, you know, dance across this nation. You know, involve the whole nation in this happiness, you know, joy, and that would be like from town to town or from city to city, you know, across Canada.
Raising money.
I would love to, you know, like make it like a charity kind of thing that would raise money for the children. I do have a compassion for children. That anything, you know, that would be raised would be for children.
Yeah, that's great. Now, I know when we spoke one time I shared a poem with you that
Yes.
my daughter had written, and you asked if I would bring it in because it really inspired you. And, you know, we're going to show it up on the screen, but I'll read it out. It was a poem that I think when times are tough, people have a choice. They can either really go down a spiral or they can try to do something for themselves to uplift themselves no matter what they need to do. And I know in economic times, and there are lots of times when people can feel down with illness, whatever. And my husband was unemployed, and my daughter wrote this poem for my husband. And it says, at times when we hear a word from God, we tend to use our own intellect to decipher what he wants, when actually what God wants is just a simple obedience and faith in him. By all means, exercise the faith that moves mountains, but know that it is still God who moves them. When everything seems to go wrong, push. When the job gets you down, just push. When people don't react the way you think they should, push. When your money is gone and the bills are due, push. When people just don't understand you, push. And push really means pray until something happens. And she ended it with saying, tough times never last, tough people do.
Right on.
So why did that inspire you so much?
Well, I like, you know, your daughter Megan. She really hit the nail on the head. You know, I feel very much the same. I truly identify with those words. You know, the only thing that I would change is dance instead of push. You know, I truly think that, you know, we have to endure those times, and I dance through those times.
And is it through those hard times, Jed, that you turned to dance? Is that kind of how you got through hard times?
Yes, actually, that's exactly what I did. You know, through hard times, I danced. You know, and it turns out that you know, it's not as tough as we make it look. You know.
Because we have a choice to react in a positive way or a negative way.
Exactly. And it works for me. It really does. You know.
And when you are in a blizzard, I mean, you dance every day. So it doesn't matter rain, shine, snow, storms, you're out there.
I'm out there.
And like, you get up in the morning and do you just go and wherever your feet take you is where you end up?
Yeah, well, you know, whatever is on the agenda, if I have certain commitments, I dance my way to them. You know, and if I don't, I make a target, you know, and I just follow it.
Do you ever have people that dance with you down the street?
Yes, not very much. Yeah, you know, people seem to shy away. But once in a while, some brave ones come through, and we do have fun. Yeah.
Would you like that? Would you like people to join you more if they see you dancing down the street?
Yes, I would. I would very much like that. I would like if more people got involved and came and we danced and you know, just
maybe people are not dancing because they think, you know, should I, shouldn't I, you know, what will you think if I jump in and start dancing with them? So you're saying bring it on, come on in and
bring
dance.
it on. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
Everybody's welcome.
And what's the most significant thing that you've encountered from people with sharing your joy and joy of dancing?
Well, the most significant is that they won't let me stop. Seriously.
Do you have people that see you every day that, you know, kind of your regulars that honk and say hi to you? Or you're never?
I don't know now. It seems everybody is irregular. Everybody is regular because I get around so much. I get a lot of. It's everywhere, you know. A lot of support from ambulances, fire trucks, police, you know, police cruisers, you know. Everybody's waving, you know. Oh, of course, transit, you know, Hamilton Transit, bus drivers, you know. Everybody waves, you know.
Well, you probably bring joy to them. I mean, if a fire truck's going to a you know, something critical and they see you dancing, it just maybe give them a little bit of a inspiration.
I guess that's what it is, and I acknowledge that, and we're in tune, we're in harmony.
What about schools when you're going by, like, you know, the schools? What happens when you go by the schools?
The kids are just beautiful. Kids, I don't know, they want to get involved. You know, I dance by the school, and I get a whole bunch of kids come out, and next thing you know, I turn around, they're behind me, and they're imitating me. And I said, you guys don't even have the music. And they say, can we dance with you? Like, they really want to get involved. And
they're not afraid to jump in?
No, they're not afraid at all. And I even tell them, I go, you don't even have the music. They say, it doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't matter, it's okay.
What type of music inspires you? Well, like, what do you listen to when you're dancing down the street? I'm sure people are going, I wonder what song he's listening to today.
Well,
you listen to all types, jazz,
I have
all different
such a
kinds?
variety of songs that I listen to. And people ask me, what's your favorite? And there's so many favorites. As long as it's got a beat to it, a harmony, you know, like that you can dance to. I seriously cannot dance to rap, you know, or heavy metal, you know, something that's too noisy or it doesn't have a melody to it.
Yeah.
You know, then I can't be creative in my way, you know. You got to understand, I have to choreography the music into my walk too. And, you know, it's not just standing or dancing in a spot. It's like, you know, implementing it in my walk. You know?
Well, you know, we're going to go to a break, so how about we start dancing and show them what you've got?
Yes, I would just like to thank, can I thank somebody here? I would like to thank Mo Masudi and the news clip. He's been with me and all the way behind me.
We got to dance it out there.
All right.
Okay, Jed, ready? Show us what you got.
I got to have the music.
Here we go. Welcome back to Persistence Pays. It was fun dancing with Jed and just getting the body moving, and I've got a special guest with me today, Ernie Schramayr, and he is very near and dear to me because in 1992 I had a neck injury on an airplane where a big metal case came out of the overhead compartment and hit me on the head, and I had actually 5 years of therapy with every type of therapy that you can imagine. And when I was at my wit's end, I was looking for a solution, and I happened to find a flyer for All Canadian Fitness, and that's how I got contacted with, made contact with Ernie, and he actually helped me go from a state of hardly moving, being able to move my neck, to a state to advancing into doing lots of great things. So Ernie, first I want to thank you for all the help you've personally given me over the years, and I'm really happy to have you on the show today.
Great, I'm always glad to help out.
So you're just saying that you have seen Jed, you and your daughter just saw him dancing down the street?
Just said it. My daughter is a dancer. She does acro, jazz, lyrical. She does probably more than I can't remember. But we saw him the other day, and she looks over and says, "Wow, look at that guy." She hadn't seen him before, and she said, "I wonder what he's listening to." You know, same thing always. You know, I wonder what he's listening to. I think my son has seen him before and thought, "Wow, that guy is kind of cool." And, it's cool the way kids look at it. You know, adults were kind of looking, "What the heck?" Whereas the kids just think it's neat.
Yeah.
You know, why doesn't everybody do that?
Well, because you know what, it's a way of expressing yourself.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
So I want to talk about All Canadian Fitness, and I know you helped me a lot when I was first injured. Well, after I went through 5 years of therapy with every kind of medical type of therapy, you helped me with strengthening.
Right.
And when we met, I mean, I remember not even be able to do one push-up.
Yeah, it was something. You know, what I do is I'm a personal trainer. I'm also a medical exercise specialist. So a medical exercise specialist is not a physiotherapist. It's a little bit different. It's a personal trainer that has advanced training in working with people that have medically referred conditions. So somebody that suffered from whiplash, somebody that might have back pain, it allows us to communicate with their doctors and their physios and their health practitioners and develop a program for them. They'll take them from the state where they were and try and normalize them as much as possible. So, you know, somebody might has there are special needs that we need to work around and special things we need to emphasize, and there are more limitations. But really, the way we look at it is, it's the same things that work with a healthy person, work with somebody who's injured or somebody who maybe have some dis-ease, and we just have to figure out the parameters and then work within them.
So at All Canadian Fitness, you have people come in that are, you know, want to increase their fitness level, let's say.
Yep.
You know, did a marathon, want to beat their time, and you have people that come in that have had an injury that want to strengthen and get well.
People come to us with frustration. it's you know, if everything's going great and their fitness and their nutrition and they love their gym and they love exercising, they don't need to come see us. It's typically the person who has something that they're frustrated about. They've tried, you know, something that they bought off a late night infomercial. They've they tried a fad diet. They've or on the other spectrum, there are people who come in and they say, you know, I work out 6 days a week, 90 minutes a day. I watch what I eat. I don't eat any gluten. I'm doing everything right. I can't get rid of this, or I want to beat my time in a half marathon or a 5K. So there's that level of frustration there. So what I guess we specialize in, and what I like to do is give every person what I call an aha moment. So something where it's like aha, and it's amazing when I do a lot of small group orientations for new clients. Yeah. And my goal, I'm not successful unless every person has had that aha moment, and people will literally say, or they got it, yeah. So if somebody's eating organic,
yes,
and they're eating a lot of fruit, which is healthy and good for you, has fiber and nutrients, but it's very high in sugar. And if they find that they're having a hard time losing body fat or losing, you know, the roll around the middle, it may be a simple thing of changing that one aspect so that they're consuming less sugar, whether it's fruit from sugar from an organic fruit, or if it's from a candy bar, it's still sugar.
Right.
So it's
how your body maybe processes the sugar.
But the point is that it's the person's doing something that's not necessarily bad, and they're doing it with a good intention, but because they don't understand the relationship between fat storage and the sugar from the organic fruit, they're not going to be successful. All they need is that information, that bit of knowledge. They get that aha moment, and things can change that quickly. Like, that can be that simple.
Great. So tell me about what, you know, when someone comes in to see you, what typically do you do?
Well, I like to have systems for things so that we're not winging it with each person. So the thing that I will look at is we base our system around what we call synergy. So there's a synergistic relationship. I don't want to get too technical. Yeah. There's a synergistic relationship between three elements that we can assess in each person. And the cool thing is that you can have the most sedentary, unfit person who's, you know, doesn't do anything, and then you can have a super fitness person. If they're experiencing frustration, there are only these three things that we can look at. Okay, are they doing enough to maintain or build muscle? Are they eating in a way that supports their goals? And are they doing appropriate amounts of aerobic exercise? So
let's take a look at the first one, and maybe we'll walk through all three. And so building muscle. I mean, if you don't go to the gym, there are lots of ways that you can build muscle even at home, right? Yeah.
The importance, you know, that is number one. Always in the relationship between those three parts, that is the most important one. So if you add muscle to your body, your metabolism works better. Your body gets better at burning calories, burning fat. Your function and your performance improves. So if it's somebody who's having trouble walking stairs, if they add some muscle, they're going to be better at that. It also changes the shape of your body. So if somebody wants to look better by adding some muscle, it's, you know, the thing that is, women in particular get really freaked out when you talk about muscle because they don't want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or
Right.
Somebody like that.
It's interesting that you say that. Even I do mentoring program for grade 7 and 8 students, and we were talking about getting physically fit. And these were grade 8 students, and the boys are like, yeah, I want to have abs. And the one girl goes, girls don't want abs. And the guys are going, yes, they do.
Yeah, some
and
girls do.
They're having an argument about abs, who wants abs and who doesn't want abs.
But the women will always say to me, I don't want to be muscular, I want to be toned.
Right.
Well, it means the exact same thing. So tone means that you've added lean muscle tissue. Because of the hormonal makeup of men and women, women are typically not going to get really big like guys. It doesn't happen by accident, believe me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think you're going to exercise 3 times a week for 30 minutes and you're going to look like a male bodybuilder, that's not going to happen. I know some female bodybuilders who are big.
Yeah.
It's a full-time occupation. It
Right.
doesn't happen by accident. So
we've got to build some muscle.
But when you do add some muscle, your body becomes more toned, more sleek, I guess you could say, and then your body becomes better at burning fat. Your posture improves. You feel better. Your energy is better. Good. So building muscle, it can be at the gym.
Yep.
It can be in the park. It can be on the road in the hotel. It's just understanding the principles that your body will change and you'll add muscle when you give it a stimulus that it's not used to.
Yeah.
So it's simple if you're doing nothing.
Right.
It's pretty easy. Do something.
Do something
that's going to change.
Right.
If you're somebody who's training 6 days a week and you're stuck, then it takes a little bit more expertise, and that's where the art comes in.
Right.
To look at it,
When we look at eating healthy, I mean, the next one is watching what you eat,
right.
and that, I mean, everyone knows what to do.
Yep. Well, not
maybe
necessarily.
Maybe not
right.
everyone
maybe
knows
not.
what to do, but
See,
we know what we should do.
Well, the wording is really important. The words that we choose when we're educating people are really important. So rather than calling it healthy eating or anything, we call it supportive nutrition.
Okay.
So it should be supportive of your goal. So if my goal is to get lean, and yours is to get big, if that's your goal, the way you eat is to support that is going to be different. So just to say I'm not eating processed foods and I'm eating vegetarian or gluten-free or whatever, there's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
But it depends what the goal is. So
Right.
if your goal, over time, if we have somebody who's got something that's happening in 16 weeks, for instance, they want to be really great at a wedding.
Or something,
yeah. So at the end of if we meet them and they're not doing anything, to get their body better at having a faster metabolism, we have to build muscle at the beginning.
Right.
So the way you eat for that is different from the end, where we're saying let's burn fat so that all that great toned muscle is going to look better.
Right.
You're going to be able to see it.
So if we're building some muscle, we're eating properly, and the last thing is really to have some aerobic.
Right. Sometimes we'll say we should be doing moderate aerobic exercise, and that always makes everybody's eyebrows perk up when they want to get lean and they think moderate, because the most common the most common mistake we see with people who typically want to get lean and more toned is that they do more aerobic exercise than the muscle building, or exclusively aerobic, and they limit their calories severely or really restrict and go on a diet. So if you're not doing, and again, if you go back to number 1, if you're not building or maintaining muscle, if you're not doing that type of exercise, or you're doing too much of the aerobic exercise, you will lose muscle at some point.
Right.
When you lose muscle, metabolism shrinks, your body changes, you lose tone, your posture sags, your performance goes down. So, in the first part, it's a
balance, right? It's a balance of
totally.
all 3.
As much as it's important to stimulate the body with something that's going to make a change, you have to allow it to rest and recover. So if we had a person come in that says, I'm training 6 days a week, 90 minutes a day, and I'm stuck, the first thing I would look at is what else is going. If I worked with a police officer who was doing night shifts and rotating shifts from night to day every other week, and was training every day and was trying to get faster for a test. The first thing I had her do, and this is totally counterintuitive, was I had her cut back and do less.
Yeah.
And
sometimes we think we have to do more in order to get a result that we want.
Exactly.
So when they come in to see you, then you actually will work with people when they first come in to kind of show them the path that they need to work on to help them get the results that they want.
Yeah. The most important session that you ever have with a trainer is the first one, and that's where we take. We go through it's a pretty thorough intake process where we look at history and goals and things like that. But once I got all that, I'll take a calendar page, and it's a yearly schedule. It's listed from January to the end of the year to December, and I'll put real world events in there. So if somebody has a wedding here, put
then
that in
you
there.
have a goal. You have something that you
Right.
can, a visual that you can see that you're working
Exactly.
towards.
If there's a race, if
Yeah.
there's golf season, if there's a beach vacation or whatever, all those things are different. So then the way that you work to support the end of that will change over time. So throughout the year, if people say, I get so bored, I'm not motivated, I don't have motivation. If you don't really understand why you're doing it, you're just like a hamster on a wheel.
Right.
Anybody's going to get bored with
Yeah.
that. But if you
can see it in a calendar, it really helps.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, Ernie, you know what? You've given some great tips and some great ideas. Thank you for being here. And how can people get in touch with you?
The best way is to go to our website. It's www.allcanadianfitness.com. If you go to our site and send us an email through there, I'll send you 2 reports back as well. One is it's how to build a better fat-burning machine, which is your body.
Right.
And the other one, I put together a report. It's the 20 most frequently asked questions. And everything from, does juice make me fat, to, will my trainer yell at me? So those things. So that we'll send you those 2 reports through the site if you log on there.
Well, thank you for being here. And thank you for tuning in to Persistence Pays, and we'll see you next time.